Hello everybody. In this video, I'm gonna talk about Java arrays. My name is Ping Li. Let's look at the learning objectives. After this video, you could declare, create initial arrays. Get arrays length. Initial arrays at the declaration. Operator 2D arrays. Use variable size arrays. Create arrays of objects. Why do we need array? In Java, we could use class to organize student information, such as class student, attributes first name and last name, method get full name. In the method get full name, we return the first name plus last name. We could use this class to declare some student instance, such as student1 equal new student, student1 dot first name equal Ping, student1 dot last name equal Li. Use the same way we could create student2, student3. But what if we want to create 1,000 students? Do we need to make up 1,000 variable name? No. Array could help us. Introduction. Array is a group of related items that share a common name. Used when programs have to handle large amount of data. Its value is stored at a specific position. Position is called index, and base index is 0. Like the example, we have an array here, include 8 elements, but the index is starting from 0 to 7. Declaration of arrays. Arrays must be declared and created before they can be used. Creation of arrays involves 3 steps. First, declare the array. Second, create storage area for the array. Third, put values into the array. Let's see how to declaration in 2 forms. The first form is data type, array name, and square brackets. The second form is data type, square brackets, and array name. So the position of square brackets could be in front of array name or after the array name. Let's see the example. Integer, square brackets, grades, or integer, grades, square brackets. So both of these types could define one array, which will full with elements, its type is integer. Here, we don't need to specify the size of arrays in declaration. Creation of arrays. After declaration arrays, we need to allocate memory for storage array items. We use new operator as follows. Array name equal new type squares brackets with size. Let's see the examples. Grades equal new int square brackets with 8. So the array name is grade. We allocated 8 elements for this array. Initialization of arrays. Once arrays are created, they need to be initialized with same values, same type of values. Array name square bracket with index equal value. Let's see the example. grades 0 equal 90, grades 1 equal 89. Java creates an array starting with index 0 and ends with size -1. Array's length. In Java, array has fixed length. Length is specified at the creation time. We can access the length of arrays as ArrayName.length, like this example, assign grades.length to variable length. So the value should be 8. And the index is starting from 0 to 7. It's 8 number. Let's see these examples. Here is a basic structure of a Java application. It is starting from a public class. The class name called GradeArray. And in this class, we don't have any attributes. We only have a special method called main, and with public static void makeup. Only one input variables, we don't need to care about it right now. So let's see the first line. It's a declaration of array grades. Its type, data type is int. Then we allocated memory for these arrays. Allocate 8 integers. Then we assign value into these arrays one by one from 0 to 7. After the assignment, we define another variable called sum. Its data type is float. Then in the loop, we're going to go over the whole array and add the value in all the elements together into the sum variable. Then we use system.out.println a string plus sum divided by grades.length. Here in Java, we could add string and float together because Java can convert the number, float number, into string, then attach them together. So I give out a question, multiple choice question. What is the correct output for this piece of code? You could pause video and think about it and guess it, but you don't need to calculate it. The answer should be A, 70.25, B, 88.25, C, average equal 70.25, D, average equal 88.25. So which one is the correct answer? Please remember, you don't need to calculate it. You just look at the value which you assigned to the elements and guess one. So the correct answer should be D, average equal 88.25. In the code, there is a system.out.println. First, we have string avg equal. So the answer A and B must be wrong. And the number 70.25 and 88.25, which one is correct? Let's look at the values which we assign to the array. All the elements Most elements are bigger than 70, so the answer, the average must be 8825. It's simple, right? Okay, let's see a simple way to initializing at the declaring time. Array also can be initialized like standard variables at the time of declaration. Use type, array name, square bracket equal bracket with values. See the example. Integer type, square bracket, array name is great equal the value sets in the brackets, or we could put square bracket after the array names. This creates an initialized array of integer of length 8. In this case, it is not necessary to use the new operator anymore. Let's relook at the example. We could replace all the assign value statement using this one line. So it's more simple. 2D array manipulations. We could declare 2D array to keep matrix. So in the declaration, we have two sets of brackets. Then creation, similar as 1D array. Because it's a table, we need to give the rows, 2 rows, and in every rows there are 3 columns. Initialization to the 2D array. We could assign value 1 by 1 to the elements. We could use the embedded bracket with values. Assign the values to the arrays in the declaration and the allocation time. So like the first example, integer table A, 2 rows, 3 columns, and we use embedded bracket, putting 2 rows, and in every row has 3 numbers. Since we already know how many rows and how many elements, so we could skip the number for how many rows and how many numbers in every row in the definition. Variable size arrays. Java treats multi-dimensions array as array of array. That means you could put one array into another array. So 2D array means we put array, the second dimension array, into the first dimension. Look at the example. We declare and allocate memory for 2D arrays, but we only specify the array numbers for the first array dimension. It's 3 elements. And for the second dimension, we allocate memory for them 1 by 1 and using different size. So the first size is 3, the second is 2, the third is 4 elements. So like the picture in right side, the first array includes 3 lines. Sorry, the first dimension includes 3 lines. The second dimension for the first element of the first dimension includes 3 elements. The second row includes 2 elements. The third row includes 5 elements. When we use this array, you have to be careful. You can't access the third element for the second rows. That's gonna be error. Array of objects. Array can be used to storage objects. We can define a student's array. The type is a student. And the student with capitalized S is a class. We will define it. Then we create an array with 100 elements. Please be careful here. The student's objects are not created. We only created the array. Let's look at an example. In the left side, we defined class student, include 2 attributes, 1 method. Then we declare a student's array. Allocated memory for this student's array, which include 100 students. Then we could use this student array. We need to create new student. Here, the student name is STU. Then assign value to this student instance. So look at it. Let's look at the highlighted line. We put this student instance into the first element of a student's array. Then we create another student. We share the student name, but we relocated the memory. So this student is totally different than the first student or STU because we relocated it. We use the different memory. Then we assign value into this instance. Then we put the instance into the second element of the student's array. So the name, student name are same, but the content is different. Then we know in the arrays, the first element included the first student. The second element included the second student. Of course, we could create 100 students and put it into the array. In this loop, we loop only twice because we only put it into 2 students. If we loop for the 100 times, all the other elements are gonna be empty, gonna be null. So we output the full name. We are using students square bracket with index to access the full name. You see, we have 100 elements in the future. We don't need to make up name for every one elements. We only use one variable name STU or instance name STU to represent the different student. Let's see the summary. Arrays enable us to develop efficient programs. For example, a loop with index as the control variable can be used to read the entire array, perform calculations, and print out the results. So this is the end of the video. Hope everybody like it.